a laboratory dog suddenly goes berserk, attacking the accompanying soldiers. It dodges bullets with agile movements, kills the driver with a bite, jumps out of the plane, causing the helicopter to collide with a bridge. The fuselage was caught by the iron cable, and a series of sparks were emitted. Meanwhile, on the bridge, a chain of accidents occurs due to heavy fog, trapping a large group of passers-by. At this moment, the imprisoned laboratory dog breaks out of the door, rampaging into the crowd, and attacking mercilessly. The plane stuck on the iron cable falls off, setting off the oil tanker below, resulting in the collapse of the entire bridge. The survivors trapped there make it out alive? This is the plot of the latest South Korean disaster movie Silence. Deputy Director of the Blue House Security Bureau, Jong-won, is busy with election matters. His leader, Rep. Chung Jae-min, is leading the polls in public opinion surveys, is a popular candidate to be the next president. In order to ensure everything goes smoothly, he decides to send his daughter Jisoo to study abroad in Australia. But Jisoo clearly isn't happy with this arrangement. Jong-won quickly drove his daughter to the airport, where a broadcast warns the public along the way of heavy fog near Incheonwon Bridge tonight, advising drivers passing through the area to be extra cautious. Jong-won stops at the last gas station before the airport, where a blonde man approaches Jong-won to assist. He displaying unprofessional behavior. He refuses card payments, and only accepts cash. Jong-won glanced at the master key on him, and realizes, this guy is not a gas station employee, he's a tow truck driver. Jong-won instructs the blonde man to inform the store owner that he will return later to settle the bill. After he said that, he started the car and left. Meanwhile, the golfer Yura is returning home with her assistant, she not wanting to participate in the upcoming tournament, resulting in a dispute with her assistant. At that moment, an elderly woman with dementia approaches Jong-won's, she mistaking the female assistant for her husband. Fortunately, her actual husband quickly arrives, but the old lady fails to recognize him, she running into the middle of the road, nearly getting hit by passing vehicles. The old man carefully comforts his wife, finally managing to take her away, while the female assistant drives Yura home. The fog at this moment is indeed very thick, visibility getting lower and lower. Cars on the road are driving cautiously. There is only one male anchor, racing by in a yellow sports car. He also turned his head from time to time to interact with the camera, treating the main road as if it's his backyard. On the other side, Jong-won is driving alongside several vans. Jisoo saw through the car window that there was a big dog locked in the car. At this moment, the yellow sports car, speeding too fast, nearly collides with the car in front. He promptly swerving and stopping abruptly, causing the tourist bus behind to do the same. The elderly couple seen at the airport earlier are on this bus. Before the male anchor can relax, a black car crashes into them. Because of the heavy fog, the car behind can't see clearly what happened in front, so it caused a series of accidents. Vehicle collision. Traffic on the entire bridge was completely paralyzed, pedestrians clutching their necks exit their vehicles, as an out-of-control tanker truck approaches Jong-won's. What follows is a horrifying accident, where the overturned tanker crushes cars into a mass. When the female assistant arrives, the road conditions are chaotic. She sighs, thank goodness I was driving slowly. But the next moment, she's hit from behind. Nearby police rush to the scene to assess the situation. He hit the excavator bucket. Fortunately, the bucket position is high, ensuring the safety of the officers. On the other side, the blonde man Xiaobo hears about the road conditions through a truck radio. He speculates that Jong-won must be trapped there. He assures the gas station owner that he will definitely recover the fuel costs, setting off with his pet dog, Judy. At this moment, Jong-won arrives at the blocked road section. He taking extra caution due to his daughter, but unexpectedly, the tire of the black car in front was caught by the chain, flipping over right in front of them. While Jong-won focuses on avoiding the black car, he inadvertently hits a stray tire. He immediately contacts the congressman. It's definitely tomorrow's headline news, so the congressman had better arrive at the scene before the public reacts. Jisoo feels that her father is too pragmatic. He isn't thinking about helping out, and he even wants to control public opinion. Jong-won stops his angry daughter. He promised to go over and check it out. He discovers the long-haired man in the black car. He seems to be in the same group as the soldiers in front, and they appear to be transporting a batch of experimental dogs. The van also collided due to the heavy fog, and the people in the vehicle quickly Jeongwonk the cargo hold. At this moment, the commander tries to contact the escort vehicle, but realizes there is no sound on the radio. They ask Jongwon to guard the doctor. That is the long-haired man. They hurry to the front to investigate, and they discover that the door of the escort vehicle is open, and the dogs inside have already vanished. The young soldier driving the vehicle is dead. The commander immediately orders, interfering with cell phone signals on the bridge. We must not let the news of the experimental dog's escape spread. His subordinates activate the jammer. Jongwon helped the doctor to the car to rest. While talking on the phone, he discovers that suddenly there is no cell phone signal, and the other stranded pedestrians on the bridge are experiencing the same. Jongwon wants to caution his daughter to be careful, but he realizes that Jisoo is missing. He becomes somewhat angry. At this moment, Jisoo is by the roadside, seeing the escaped experimental dog, which is frantically ramming into the roadside guardrail. The little girl stepped closer, her taking out snacks from her pocket to feed the dog, and noticing the number E9 on the dog's clothing. Just as the girl is about to approach with the biscuit, Jongwon quickly rushes forward to pull Jisoo away. E9, seeing someone approaching, the dog turns and leaves. It quickly came to a crowded place, and approaching a female assistant's vicinity, scaring her so much that she sticks close to the car, and doesn't move. On the other side, the commander reports the situation to the doctor, he expressing that a helicopter will soon come for assistance. Jongwon on the side can't help but interrupt, saying that dispatching a helicopter in such visibility seriously violates flight regulations. He asks which military department the commander belongs to. The commander thinks he's meddling. Jongwon explains that he works in the Blue House security office. The commander didn't say much, just stating that this is an emergency, so he hopes for everyone's cooperation. Jongwon instructs the commander to immediately deactivate the jammer, leading to a physical altercation between the two sides. Commander and his subordinates restrain Jongwon against the steering wheel. Jisoo tries to get the doctor in the back seat to release her dad. But the doctor is busy with the computer. On the doctor's screen, all of them are experimental dogs, with numbers starting with E. He activates options through the control system, then contact the commander to send him out. From their conversation, it is revealed that this group of experimental dogs is related to a project called the Silent Plan. The doctor's designed code can control the experimental dogs, recognizing specific sounds. He sets the sound target as the commander, completes the setup. E9, blocking the female assistant, immediately rushing towards the rear, while the other experimental dogs also move towards the same destination. They return to the carriage, while the commander is fully geared up. He is responsible for stunning and imprisoning these modified dogs. However, the experimental dogs are very fierce and numerous. They expertly rushing towards the commander. The commander takes off his helmet, he using himself as bait, leading the dogs into the carriage. At this moment, the doctor realizes that E9 is standing still, it evidently having broken free from control. Doctor, stop the procedure immediately. Shortly after, the helicopter arrives overhead. They lowered a large container using ropes, attempting to transport the experimental dogs. At the same time, Xiaobo arrives at the scene with his pet dog, Judy. A traffic police officer signals him to stop the car, have Xiaobo's tow truck help out. By towing away his own car, Xiaobo takes advantage of the situation to ask for double the towing fee from him. Just then, Judy suddenly run out, and Xiaobo hurriedly chases after. On the other side, soldiers herd the experimental dogs into the container, but noticed Judy standing to the side barking loudly, seemingly very interested in those big dogs. The soldiers are about to chase away Judy, but Jisoo quickly steps forward, pick up the puppy. Jongwon also steps forward to protect his daughter. At the same time, the commander instructs the helicopter to lift the container first, and to deal with E9 later. However, he quickly realizes that the control chip of E9 has fallen off. The next moment, soldiers on the aircraft find that E9 is standing on top of the container. It lunges forward, tearing people apart, causing the container to crash to the ground. E9 evades bullets and jumps into the cockpit, biting down on the pilot and refusing to let go. The helicopter loses control and starts descending, while E9 seizes the opportunity to jump back to the ground. The helicopter flew over the iron cables on both sides of the bridge and got stuck on the bridge. The intense noise causes the experimental dogs to become agitated and restless, potentially triggering a faulty response, resulting in all the experimental dogs losing control. The computer suddenly flashes a red alert, and in the next moment, all the experimental dogs broke open the container and rushed out. They attacking the humans on the bridge before anyone can react. They are tackled to the ground and torn apart. One experimental dog charges fiercely. The doctor grabs a computer and swings it, but the dog bites onto his shoe. Jong-won quickly pulls the doctor away. The experimental dog was about to jump over the car and pounce on me. The commander grabs it with one hand, while E9 runs over and bites the commander. On the other side, an experimental dog wearing a muzzle is getting ready to approach Jisoo. Jong-won quickly pulls his daughter to escape, while Xiaobo, unsure of what's happening, also starts running frantically. The whole bridge is like a zombie attack, with everyone desperately trying to flee. At this moment, Yura saw that the female assistant was in danger. She immediately pulled out the club. Yura drags her female assistant into the escape team. Meanwhile, Xiaobo is preparing to take Judy back to the car, but he notices a large dog crouching across from him. He quickly bolts away. Jong-won also takes his daughter and the doctor into the car, but the wheels get stuck at a critical moment. He presses the gas pedal hard to overcome the obstacle. Xiaobo quickly waves for his help, but Jong-won shows no intention of stopping. Jisoo directly intervenes to force her father to stop. Xiaobo immediately runs over while carrying the dog. He rushed at the last second. When he was almost overtaken by the experimental dog, he leaps into the back compartment. Jong-won drives the car away from the scene. Meanwhile, Yura and her companion blend into the crowd, squeezing into a tourist bus. At this moment, helicopter stuck on top of bridge starts dropping some parts towards the ground. Burning parts detonate roadside vehicles. Jong-won violently turns the steering wheel to avoid, but the car crashes into the guardrail at the bridge's edge. The car malfunctions due to the impact. He picks up the doctor's walkie-talkie to seek help, but there is no response from anyone. Instead, the muzzled dog jumps onto the windshield. At the same time, the senator learns that signals on the bridge are being blocked, and that a military helicopter has crashed. Before understanding the situation fully, they can't dispatch helicopters for rescue anymore. Plus, it's low tide now. Boats can't easily approach either. The senator can only pretend to remain calm while addressing the reporters. The scene shifts back to the bridge. Jong-won instructs Xiaobo to wake up the unconscious doctor and asks about the situation with those dogs. Dr. explained he developed a rescue dog that responds to the human voice, but the US and European countries commissioned the Korean side to develop these dogs for tracking terrorists. Therefore, the military instructed the doctor to reprogram them, to train them to recognize specific sounds, and deploy them as attack hounds. The development process encountered serious issues, and the project was halted. Today's escort mission is to deal with the unfit sample. Jong-won becomes more anxious. He constantly calling for help on the walkie-talkie, finally getting a response from the senator, and reporting the situation to them. They are currently blocked by the experimental dogs near the main tower, and there is an oil tanker truck ahead. The senator indicates that they will send support as soon as possible. Suddenly, the oil tanker truck explodes, releasing toxic gas rapidly into the vehicle. In a critical moment, the tour bus arrives to rescue people. Jong-won instructs everyone to cover their mouths and noses, and in groups of 3, they run towards the bus. The doctor, not following orders, rushes out first. The remaining few people also hurriedly got off the car and fled. Jong-won did not forget to remind the members on the way that sending a rescue team is useless, and that a special police force should be sent first. Kill those dogs immediately. Don't let the media know about this. The plane hanging over the bridge is about to fall near the oil tanker. Jong-won quickly rushes into the bus, and the next moment, the plane crashes onto the bridge. Ignite the oil tanker truck. The intense explosion almost instantly shatters the bridge. Fortunately, the bus driver speeds away quickly, ensuring everyone is safe from the blast. However, the experimental dogs are now gathering near the bus. Jong-won, as a member of the Blue House Security Department, he steps forward to take charge of the situation. He states, due to heavy fog, rescue efforts are being hindered, but contact has been established with the authorities. They are organizing rescue teams. The public, upon hearing this, breathe a sigh of relief to some extent. Yet Yura and the old man from before raised doubts. Why is there no cell phone signal? What's the deal with those dogs attacking people randomly? Jong-won falsely allege that the explosion caused the communication breakdown, and that rescue teams are working hard to restore the network. Meanwhile, the military dog unit has an outbreak of rabies, and the infected dogs have been ordered to be dealt with. However, during the transfer process, they escape due to a collision. Jong-won, as a Blue House politician, is already accustomed to lying to the public. He does silence Xiaobo. He promises that after this is over, he will award Xiao Bo with a first-class Patriot Medal and a prize of $100,000. Xiao Bo is tempted. At the same time, the SWAT team has arrived, them searching everywhere, but finding no dogs. They plan to evacuate the survivors first. Jongwon feels uneasy, but can only follow the senator's orders. Unexpectedly, the doctor refuses to get off the vehicle. He knowing that the experimental dogs couldn't have escaped. They must be hiding somewhere. Jongwon drags him out of the carriage. It's about 30 minutes from the edge of the bridge. Everyone follows the SWAT team forward, but the doctor saw the experimental dog flash past. He got so scared that he accidentally triggered the car alarm. Xiao Bo quickly shuts it off. Unexpectedly, the alarm of a car in the distance goes off as well. The special police checked and found nothing unusual, but soon, more and more vehicles start alarming. The doctor understands that it must be the doing of those experimental dogs. When the SWAT team members go to inspect again, they are attacked by vicious dogs. A bunch of experimental dogs rush in, launching a frenzied attack on the SWAT team members. The scene descends into chaos. There were dogs barking and screaming everywhere. An old lady is nearly bitten to death. But luckily, a SWAT member fires a shot. However, the next moment, he himself is tackled down by the experimental dogs. Jongwon looks around at the scene. He realizes that things have taken a turn for the worse. He is about to contact the senator. He suddenly realizes Jisoo is missing. Jongwon shouts his daughter's name, and an experimental dog lunges at him. Xiao Bo, hiding under the car, sees Jongwon in danger. He closes his eyes and pretends to be dead. At this moment, Jongwon spots his daughter's figure, and Judy beside him keeps barking incessantly, successfully diverting the experimental dog's attention. Jongwon takes the opportunity to rush out and save Jisoo. He grabs his daughter and flees, seeking refuge in the luggage compartment of a bus. However, Jongwon realizes that the walkie-talkie is missing. He instructs his daughter to stay put on the bus, while he goes out to find the walkie-talkie. Fortunately, the device is not far away. Jongwon also finds Jisoo's backpack, along with signal flares scattered near the SWAT member's body. He didn't forget to pick up his school bag at this time, because it contains his late wife's favorite book. At this moment, Jisoo is huddled in a corner. Watch the video her mother recorded before she died. She hears the voice of the doctor beside her. Realizing that he is also hiding here, the doctor discovers a small door above them that leads to the carriage. The two of them observe the experimental dogs. Through the bus window, Jisoo recognized E9. The doctor explains, all the dogs out there are cloned from E9. It's the equivalent of the mother of these dogs. Therefore, this operation is not just a simple hunt, but rather, E9 is seeking revenge against humans for the children who died in experiments. On the other side, Jongwon finds several survivors, and Xiao Bo has already disclosed the matter about the experimental dogs. Jongwon can only apologize, also and figure out a way to get everyone out. He touched the liquid on the ground and licked it. He realizes this is actually gasoline. Jongwon immediately makes a makeshift torch and shoots a signal flare into the sky. After seeing the signal, the senator informs Jongwon that the road ahead is blocked by poison gas, and they must take another route. They joined up with the SWAT team guarding the breach at the bridge. Jongwon plans to find a bus to evacuate everyone. He asks the senator to prepare snipers to take out the dogs, but the senator is concerned about the presence of the media nearby. Jongwon had no choice but to confess. The survivors already know about the silent plan. We can no longer continue to conceal the truth. The MP changed his expression. Jongwon successfully leads the survivors to the front of the bus, but the doctor stops Jisoo from opening the door, because as the experimental dogs outside become agitated upon seeing him, seemingly recognizing the doctor, everyone could only use torches to barely prevent the experimental dogs from approaching. But the cloth on the sticks won't hold for long. The senile old lady is knocked down by the dog again, and everyone rushes to help, but the dog refused to open his mouth. In a critical moment, Xiao Bo suddenly spits out a ball of fire. As it turns out, when he was hiding in the bus, he took the liquor from the seat next to him, not realizing it would come in handy now. Xiao Bo successfully intimidates the surrounding experimental dogs, but the doctor still refuses to open the door. At this moment, Jongwon takes out a signal gun and instructs everyone present to close their eyes. The next second, a bright light that could blind a person flashed out, causing the experimental dogs to scatter in panic. Jisoo takes the opportunity to open the door and let everyone in. Xiao Bo grabs the railing and kicks the doctor down. while Yura suddenly cries out, realizing that neither of the buses have keys inserted. Just when hope seems about to shatter, Jongwon remembers, isn't Xiaobo a tow truck driver? He has a master key on him. Xiaobo's key saved everyone's lives. They drive the bus to rendezvous with the SWAT team. Meanwhile, the senator faces a difficult decision. As a major presidential candidate, he actually authorized the silent plan. Now these dogs are carrying out a massacre of civilians. If this is exposed, the senator's presidential dreams will surely be shattered. It's better to give up the rescue and accept the accidental collapse of the bridge, resulting in loss of life. So when Jongwon and the others arrive at the bridge, trying to reach the senator to get the snipers to act, but receive no response, the senator has made a decision. At this moment, the bus approaches the broken section of the bridge, cannot stay in place for too long. Jongwon plans to sacrifice the doctor to lure the dogs away. Jisa comes up with a solution. They first enter the luggage compartment through a small door, then play music inside and outside the bus, to lure the surrounding experimental dogs inside the bus. Xiaobo pulls a rope to close the door, successfully trapping the dogs inside the bus. Then several people got out of the luggage compartment. However, during this time, the elderly lady with dementia couldn't hold on. The old man's heart is already dead. He voluntarily stays behind to hold the small door, preventing the experimental dogs from escaping. Xiaobo drags Jongwon away, making him abandon the elderly couple. At the critical moment, the old man closes the compartment door, sacrificing himself to give everyone a chance. But there is no SWAT team support ahead. The doctor knows. The congressman that Jongwon contacted was Cho Zai-min. He sneered. So, the Silence Project is. It was this project that Cho Zai-min approved, when he was still serving on the National Defense Commission, that secured his position in the Blue House. Jongwon has always regarded Cho Zai-min as a friend, having sent his daughter abroad, allowing Cho Zai-min to assume the presidency. Now, Jongwon doesn't ask for Cho Zai-min's help. He plans to take the poisonous road, hoping that Cho Zai-min still has humanity, won't let the medical personnel outside the bridge evacuate. Jongwon plans to escape in the tow truck, but the issue is, the master key is still on the bus, and it's full of lab dogs. The doctor beside him suddenly remembered that his laptop is nearby. If they can find the laptop, they might be able to try controlling the experimental dogs. Luckily, they successfully find the laptop, and manage to unlock it using the fingerprints of the commander's corpse. Jongwon's plan is very simple. He instructs the doctor to initiate the program, ensuring that the experimental dogs recognize his voice, and then, Jongwon will hide in a cage, and use his voice to lure the dogs away, while Xiaobo takes the opportunity to retrieve the key, and drive the vehicle. However, this puts Jongwon in great danger. He hasn't informed his daughter of this plan. She took his wife's book. He preparing to read it aloud.
이거 마지막인 거 알지? 이따 꼭 돌려줘야 돼?
Once everything is ready, everyone starts to act. Jongwon loudly reads his wife's book. Dogs whose internal programs are activated immediately recognize the enemy, and Yura stood on the roof of the car and kept swinging, successfully shattering the bus windows. After the experimental dogs find a loophole, they immediately break out of the windows and swiftly rush towards the metal cage, want to attack Jongwon, who is hiding inside. Xiaobo climbs onto the bus to prepare to retrieve the key, but they forgot. E9 is out of control, and it's still inside the bus. Xiaobo runs away quickly, while the doctor is about to ask him where the key is. The next second, he was jumped by E9. Luckily, while he was looking for the laptop, he conveniently found the commander's electric baton, and Yura from the side also comes over with a baseball bat to help. Unexpectedly, the bridge continues to collapse. The dogs that are surrounding Jongwon are about to fall into the water. E9 immediately rushes over to save the children, while Jongwon's metal cage is stuck at the broken bridge. Xiaobo wants to use the tow truck to pull the cage up, but Jongwon doesn't allow him to get close, as the bridge is very fragile right now, and any slight mistake could make the tow truck fall as well. Jongwon urges everyone to leave quickly, but Jisoo grabs the rope of the tow truck and jumps over to help. Jongwon quickly opens the car door, and he notices that E9 is saving the dogs trapped nearby. Jongwon tells his daughter not to come any closer. At that moment, a scrap car knocks down Jisoo, and the trapped dog falls towards the sea. E9 immediately rushes over. The metal cage is nearing a vertical angle. Jongwon grabbed the iron gate to confirm his daughter's condition. Fortunately, she quickly climbs back up. Jisoo loudly calls for Xiaobo to tow the car, and they successfully pull the metal cage back onto the bridge and speed ahead. The bridge is collapsing rapidly. Everyone covers their mouths and noses as they rush into the gas circle. No one notices the connection of the towed car brakes. When they exit the gas circle, the metal cage is nowhere to be seen. Xiaobo is about to cry out in grief. The iron cage also successfully slid out of the poisonous gas circle due to inertia. A group of people successfully met up with the medical team, and the first thing Zhongwan does after getting off the car is to, in front of all the media, throw a punch at Zheng Inmin, and publicly reveals the insider details of the silent plan. The movie ends here. Whether it's the successive car chases or the destruction of the bridge, killing experimental dogs, it can still keep up with various big scenes, but the pacing in the middle section is lacking, and the script is average. Overall, it can be considered a passable commercial film. If you enjoy my channel, please consider subscribing.